Namaste to all. Ram, Ram, Ram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Today is the third class of Sundara Kandam. The first class we did introduction to Sundara Kandam along with the Dhyana Shlokas. The last class we covered Shlokas 1 to 20 along with the meaning. Let's chant the shlokas that we learned in the last two classes and then proceed further. Today we will do 21 to 40. Guru Kripa. Soumya Bhagini asti va?
Ram Ram Manji.
Namaskara.
Namaskar.
We'll do the Dhyana shlokas followed by shlokas 1 to 20. Would you like me to start?
Yes.
Shuklambaradharam Vishnum
Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Hataye Namah Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogata Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet
Very good.
Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayuthamukham Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye.
There is another version which is Shirasam Namami. That works too.
Yatra yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra tatra Kritamastakāñjalim Bāshpavari Paripurnalochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Kūjantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Āruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam.
Very good. We start with the Prathama Sarga, Samudra Lankhanam. Let's go ahead and chant 1 to 20. Go ahead, Soumya Bhagini.
Sundara Kandam, Prathama Sarga, Samudra Lankhanam. Tato Ravana Nitaya Sitaya Shatru Karshanaha Iyesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pathi Dushkaram Nishpratidvandvam Chikirsham Karma Vanaraha Samudagrashiro Grivo Gavam Patiriva Babhau Athavaidur Varneshu Shadvaleshu Mahabalaha Dhirasalila-kalpeshu Vichachara yatha sukham.
The endings, make sure that it is not Dirgha. Vaidurya Varneshu In
अथ
here, go ahead, Bagni.
वैदूर्यवर्णेषु
Ah,
शाद्वलेषु महाबलः धीरः सलिलकल्पेषु विचचार यथा सुखम्
very good.
द्विजान् वित्रासयन् धीमान् पुरसा पादपान् हरन् मृगां च सुबाहुनिघ्नन् प्रवृद्ध इव केसरी
Second line.
मृगांश्च सुबाहुनिघ्नन्
Subahun Nignan. There is a double
मृगांश्च
nakara there.
मृगांश्च सुबाहुनिघ्नन् प्रवृद्ध इव केसरी नीललोहितमाञ्जिष्ठ पत्रवर्णैः सितासितैः स्वभावविहितैश्चित्रैः धातुभिः समलङ्कृतम् कामरूपिभिराविष्टम् अभीक्ष्णं सपरिच्छदैः यक्षकिन्नरगन्धर्वैः देवकल्पैश्च पन्नगैः स तस्य गिरिवर्यस्य तले नागवरायुते तिष्ठन् कपिवरस्तत्र ह्रदे नाग इवा बभौ स सूर्याय महेन्द्राय पवनाय स्वयं भुवे भूतेभ्यश्चाञ्जलिं कृत्वा चकार गमने मतिम् अञ्जलिं प्राङ्मुखः कृत्वा पवनायात्मयोनये ततो हि ववृधे गन्तुं दक्षिणो दक्षिणां दिशम् प्लवङ्गप्रवरैर्दृष्टः प्लवने कृतनिश्चयः ववृधे रामवृद्ध्यर्थम् समुद्र इव पर्वसु
Very good.
निष्प्रमाणशरीरः सन् लिलङ्गयिषुरर्णवम् बाहुभ्यां पीडयामास चरणाभ्यां च पर्वतम् स च चालाश्चलश्चापि मुहूर्तं कपिपीडितः तरूणां पुष्पिताग्राणां सर्वं पुष्पमशातयत् तेन पादपमुक्तेन पुष्पौघेन सुगन्धिना सर्वतः संवृतः शैलो बभौ पुष्पमयो यथा तेन चोत्तमवीर्येण पीड्यमानः स पर्वतः सलिलं सम्प्रसृस्राव मदं मत्त इव द्विपः
Very good.
पीड्यमानस्तु बलिना महेन्द्रस्तेन पर्वतः प्रीतिर्निर्वर्तयामास काञ्चनाञ्जनराजतीः
The Riti is Dirga. Ritir.
प्रीतिर्निर्वर्तयामास काञ्चनाञ्जनराजतीः
Very good.
मुमोच शशिलाशैलो विशालाः समनशिलाः
Correct.
मध्यमेनार्चिषा जुष्टो धूमराजीरिवानलः गिरिना पीड्यमानानि सर्वतः गुहाविष्टानि भूतानि विनेदुर्विकृतैश्वरैः स महासत्त्वसन्नादः शैलपीडानिमित्तजः पृथिवीं पूरयामास दिशश्चोपवनानि च शिरोभिः ऋतुभिः सर्पा व्यक्तस्वस्तिकलक्षणैः वमन्तः पावकं घोरम् ददंशुर्दशनैः शिलाः
Very good.
तास्तदा सविशद तास्तदा सविशदैर् तास्तदा सविशैर्धष्टाः
Dashtaha. One more time.
तास्तदा सविश तास्तदा सविशैर्दष्टाः
Correct.
कुपितैस्तैर्महाशिलाः जज्वलुः पावकोद्दीप्ता बिभिदुश्च सहस्रधा.
Very good. Very well. Looks like you've practiced well, Bhagini. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I think I had a poll that I gave in the Sundara Kandam WhatsApp group. I think it was quite overwhelming to see that many of them had practiced this last week. I think it's only repeated practice. This is not a small shloka like 8 verses, 10 verses, or even 100 verses where you can quickly catch up if we missed couple of classes or couple of weeks. Because of the volume or the number of shlokas, we need consistent practice. And it is human nature. If we miss like 2-3 classes, right, then the whole energy kind of like comes down, and then we feel like, I can't do this anymore. I have been there, done that. So my humble request to everybody listening to the recordings, attending live classes, so many of them are on Zoom, many are attending through the YouTube live streaming. Just take 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day, allot a time that is convenient to you. Find a quiet place. If you are comfortable just chanting by yourself, you can just chant by yourself. If you feel like you need a support, will be good. We are the individual recordings as well as the sets of 10 are being posted on the YouTube channel, just to maintain the consistency of tune and the text and the way we do the padachedam. You can use those recordings as well to practice. So or just listen to them while you go on a walk, while you're cooking, while you have some quiet time, you're doing, some kolam or doing garland or something that where you can listen. You can keep listening to the recordings. That will help as well. So 5-10 minutes every day will take us a long way. We have a long journey ahead of us. My humble request is for everybody to devote those 5-10 minutes every day for the sankalpa that we have taken. So I was quite happy to see that many from the Sundarakandam WhatsApp group, they had voted saying that they had practiced, and practice is what will make us comfortable, and we will feel very happy when we know we are making mistakes. There is a kind of disturbance that we experience because we feel like we are not confident. I'm definitely making mistakes. I'm not happy about it. So if you practice consistently, the confidence will give us the happiness which we are looking for while we chant shlokas. Why do we want to learn and chant? Because ultimately the goal of every goal is feeling happy, internally. So that will give you that happiness. So just devote that little bit of time. Take help from recordings, take help from the live class recordings as well, the individual verses that have been posted. And I can't wait for us to, we are just starting the journey, but the goal is so big. I can't wait for us to, for all of us to do the Sampurna Parayana. In fact, I'm eagerly looking forward to complete the first Sarga itself and do the Purna Parayana. So just make sure that you devote that time. Okay. Haridra. Let's have the repeat, and then we will go into the Namaste.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. यानि चौषधजालानि
यानि चौषधजालानि
तस्मिन् जातानि पर्वते
तस्मिन् जातानि पर्वते
विषघ्नान्यपि नागानाम्
विषघ्नान्यपि नागानां
न शेकुष्यमितुं विषम्
न शेकुष्यमितं शमितुं विषम्.
Very good. यानि चौषधजालानि तस्मिन् जातानि पर्वते
यानि चौषधजालानि तस्मिन् जातानि पर्वते
विषघ्नान्यपि नागानां न शेकुः शमितुं विषम्.
विषघ्नान्यपि नागानां न शेकुः शमितुं विषम्.
Very good. Mahapranah.
In the first line, the second word, chaushadha, shandha,
Mm.
and in the second line again, vishagnanyapi, sha, and the half gha,
Mm.
and visham,
Mm.
visha.
Very good. And then Shekush.
Visar, yeah, that's visarga.
Visarga pronunciation. Okay. Shekush Shamitam. So at least for maybe Sarga 1 or maybe couple of Sargas until members are used to looking at. So those who know Sanskritam, I think mostly they will not make a mistake if they know the right pronunciation. But people who are trying to look at the transliteration, the maybe after Sarga 1 or Sarga 2, we can slowly wean off from the Mahapranaha, Visargaha, and Vitva. So until then, for the benefit of members who have not learned the Sanskritam Aksharas and are looking at either English or Tamil or any other language text that they have in their hand, many members are requested that we continue doing this pronunciation focus. So bear with me. I think because of that, the class might go over by a few minutes, but I think the effort will be worth it. Vidyate yam girirbhutaihi
भिद्यते यं गिरिर्भूतैः
iti matva tapasvinah
इति मत्वा तपस्विनः
trasta vidyadharastasmat
त्रस्ता विद्याधरास्तस्मात्
उत्पेतुस्त्रीगणैः सह
उत्पेतुस्त्रीगणैः सह
भिद्यते यं गिरिर्भूतैः इति मत्वा तपस्विनः.
भिद्यते यं गिरिर्भूतैः इति मत्वा तपस्विनः
त्रस्ता विद्याधरास्तस्मात् उत्पेतुस्त्रीगणैः सह.
त्रस्ता विद्याधरास्तस्मात् उत्पेतुस्त्रीगणैः सह.
Very good. Mahapranaha.
भिद्यतेयं, so bhi is mahaprana
Mm.
and girir bhutaihi, bho is mahaprana
Mm.
and vidyadharas tasmat, dha is mahaprana. Yeah. And visarga is girir bhutaihi iti matva and tapasvinaha. Then in second line utpetush triganai saha.
There is a sakaraha, sakaraha. Only the visargas that we join together and say we can focus on that. So utpetus tri ganais saha. So there is a sakaraha, sakaraha there. Pana bhumigatam hitva
पानभूमिगतं हित्वा
हैममासवभाजनम्
हैममासवभाजनम्
पात्राणि च महार्हाणि
पात्राणि च महार्हाणि
करकांश्च हिरण्मयान्.
करकांश्च हिरण्मयान्
पानभूमिगतं हित्वा हैममासवभाजनम्
पानभूमिगतं हित्वा हैममासवभाजनम्
पात्राणि च महार्हाणि करकांश्च हिरण्मयान्.
पात्राणि च महार्हाणि करकांश्च हिरण्मयान्.
Very good.
Oh, so the Mahaprana is Pana Bhumigatam Bha and Haima Masava Bhajanam Bha and That's all.
That's it. Hiranmayan. Okay. The nakaraha we need to focus. Patrani, maharhani. The moonushui na in Tamil. So we have to focus. It's not patrani. It is patrani. Naka natvam. We need to focus. Lehyanuchavachan bhakshyan.
लेह्यानुच्चावचान् भक्ष्यान्
Mamsani vividhani cha.
मांसानि विविधानि च
Arshabhani cha charmani.
आर्षभाणि च चर्माणि
खड्गांश्च कनकत्सरून्
खड्गांश्च कनकस्तरून्
खड्
खड्गांश्च कनकत्सरून्
वेरी गुड लेह्यानुच्चावचान् भक्ष्यान्
लेह्यानु
let me complete. Sorry, Haritra. लेह्यानुच्चावचान् भक्ष्यान् मांसानि विविधानि च
लेह्यानुच्चावचान् भक्ष्यान् मांसानि विविधानि च
आर्षभानि च चर्माणि खड्गांश्च कनकत्सरून्
आर्षभाणि च चर्माणि खड्गांश्च कनकत्सरून्.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana was in the first line, second word bhakshyan, bha, and vividhani. Then arshabhani cha charmani, sha, arsha, sha and bha,
Both. Very good.
and khadgamsha, kha.
This kha is Mahapranaha. We have to stress and say. This kanat is ka, this is kha. So when you're seeing KHA or ka with number 2 or number 4, you have to stress and say it. So khadgamscha kanakatsarun. Similarly, you can see number 4 here. Bha. You can see BHA, ba, and pa with a 4, number 4. It becomes bha. Kritakanthaguna Shiba.
Kritakanthagunakshibha.
We stop the visargaha there. Kritakanthagunaha Shiba.
Kritakanthagunaha kshiba.
Raktamalyanulепanaha.
Raktamalyanulепanaha.
Raktakshaf pushkaraksha.
Raktakshaf pushkarakshaश्च
Gaganam pratipedire.
Gaganam pratipedire.
Kritakanthaguna Shiba Raktamalyanulепanaha.
Kritakanthagunaha kshiba Raktamalyanulепanaha.
Raktakshaf pushkarakshaश्च Gaganam pratipedire.
Raktakshaf pushkarakshaश्च Gaganam pratipedire.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana, in the first line, first word, Krita Kantha Guna Tha, and Pushkara.
Pushkaraksha. Very good.
That's all.
The visargaha we stop here. Gunaha Shiba, because the shakaraha, like ksha is there, we stop there. Shiba. And then here, how do you pronounce the visargaha here?
Raktakshaf Pushkarakshascha.
Very good. Raktakshaf Pushkarakshascha. Gaganam pratipedire. Very good. Haranupura.
Haranupura Keyura.
पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः
पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः
विस्मिताः सस्मितास्तस्थुः
विस्मिताः सस्मितास्तस्थुः
आकाशे रमणैः सह
आकाशे रमणैः सह
हारनूपूरकेयूर पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः
हारनूपुरकेयूर पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः
विस्मिताः सस्मितास्तस्थुः आकाशे रमणैः सह
विस्मिताः सस्मितास्तस्थुः आकाशे रमणैः सह.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana in the first line Pariharyadhara and in the second line Sasmitastasthuhu ha. And yeah, that's and Visarga is Dharaha Striyah.
So when you
Dhara
say
Striyah.
there is a sakaraha there. Dharastriyah.
And then Vismita Sasmitastasthuhu.
So you have sakaraha there too. Here you stop. Tastuhu, you stop here. Here
and
again.
Ramanai Saha.
Ramanai saha. You say it together. There is a sakaraha which is added there. Darshayanto mahavidyam.
Darshayanto mahavidyam.
Vidyadhara maharshayah.
Vidyadhara maharshayah.
Sahitastasthurākāṣe.
Sahitastasthurākāṣe.
I'll repeat that. Vikshanchakruscha parvatam.
Vikshanchakruscha parvatam.
Viksham chakruscha. When you say it together, it becomes Vikshanj chakruscha parvatam. Vikshanchakruscha parvatam.
Vikshanchakruscha parvatam.
Correct. Darshayanto mahavidyam vidyadhara maharshayah.
Darshayanto mahavidyam vidyadhara maharshayah.
Sahitastasthurākāṣe Vikshanchakruscha parvatam.
Sahitastasthurākāṣe Vikshanchakruscha parvatam.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana in the first line, last word Vidya, Dhara, Dha and Maharshayah, Sha. And the second line, Sahitastasthurākāṣe. Dha is Mahaprana.
That's it.
And that's it.
Vikshanchakruscha. Very good. Shushruvuscha tada shabdam.
Shushruvuscha tada shabdam.
One more time.
Shushruvuscha tada shabdam.
Very good. Rishinam bhavitatmanam.
Rishinam bhavitatmanam.
Charananam cha siddhanam.
Charananam cha siddhanam.
Sthitanam vimalembare.
Sthitanam vimalembare.
Shushruvuscha tada shabdam rishinam bhavitatmanam.
Shushruvuscha tada shabdam rishinam bhavitatmanam.
Charananam cha siddhanam sthitanam vimalembare.
Charananam cha siddhanam sthitanam vimalembare.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana in first line Rishinam Sha and Bhavitatmanam Bha. The second line Siddhanam Dha. Then Sthitanam Ha.
Ha.
That's it.
That's it. No visarga pronunciation. Yes. Yesha parvata sankasho
एष पर्वतसङ्काशो
Hanuman marutatmajah
हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः
तितीर्षति महावेगः
तितीर्षति महावेगः
समुद्रं मकरालयम्
समुद्रं मकरालयम्
येष पर्वतसङ्काशो हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः
एष पर्वतसङ्काशो हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः
तितीर्षति महावेगः समुद्रं मकरालयम्
तितीर्षति महावेगः समुद्रं मकरालयम्.
Very good.
So Mahaprana in the first line Esha Sha and the second line Titirshati Sha.
That's it. Samudram, Samudram, Idram, there is a dvitva there. Marutatmajah, that's it. Okay. Ramartham Vanarartham cha
Ramartham Vanarartham cha
Chikirshan Karma Dushkaram
Chikirshan Karma Dushkaram
Samudrasya Paramparam
Samudrasya Paramparam
Dushprapam Praptumichhati.
Dushprapam Praptumichhati.
Very good. Ramartham Vanarartham cha Chikirshan Karma Dushkaram
Ramartham Vanarartham cha Chikirshan Karma Dushkaram
Samudrasya Paramparam Dushprapam Praptumichhati.
Samudrasya Paramparam Dushprapam Praptumichhati. So Mahapranas is Vanarartham, Ramartham Tha, Vanarartham again Tha, and Chikirshan Sha, and Dushkaram again Sha, and Dushprapam in the second line Sha, and Praptamichhati Cha.
Cha. Very good. 1 second, Haritra. Sollu. Next one. Iti vidyadhara shrutva
Iti vidyadhara shrutva Shrutva
vachastesham mahatmanam
Vachastesham Mahatmanam
tamaprameyam dadrushuhu
Tamaprameyam Dadrushuhu
parvate vanararshambam
Parvate Vanarashabham
iti vidyadhara shrutva vachastesham mahatmanam
Iti Vidyadhara Shrutva Vachastesham Mahatmanam
tamaprameyam dadrushuhu parvate vanararshambam.
Tamaprameyam Dadrushuhu Parvate Vanarashabham.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana in the first line Vidyadhara Dha and Vachastesham Sha. The second line Vanarashabham Sha and Bha. And Visarga is Vidyadhara Shrutva.
That's it. Here we stop. Dadrushuhu. We stop there. Dudhuve cha saromani
Dudhuve cha saromani
चकम्पे चाचलोपमः
च कम्पे चाचलोपमः
ननाद सुमहानादम्
ननाद सुमहानादम्
सुमहानिवतो यदः
सुमहानिवतो यदः.
If we don't stop here, we have this tendency to say nanadassu mahanadam. We tend to say a sakaraha there, which is why consciously you can probably draw a vertical line to make sure that you stop there. Otherwise, the colloquial pronunciation, we will say it as nanadassu mahanadam, where there is no sakaraha there. Dudhuve cha saromani चकम्पे चाचलोपमः
दुधुवे च सरोमाणि च कम्पे चाचलोपमः
ननाद सुमहानादम् सुमहानिवतो यदः
ननाद सुमहानादम् सुमहानिवतो यदः.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana is Dudhuve. Dha.
That is the only one. And then we don't have any Visarga in this. Okay. Anupurvyena vrittam cha
आनुपूर्व्येण वृत्तं च
लाङ्गूलं रोमभिषितम्
लाङ्गूलं रोमभिश्चितम्
उत्पतिष्यन् विचिक्षेप
उत्पतिष्यन् विचिक्षेप
पक्षिराज इवोरगम्
पक्षिराज इवोरगम्
आनुपूर्व्येण वृत्तं च लाङ्गूलं रोमभिश्चितम्
आनुपूर्व्येण वृत्तं च लाङ्गूलं रोमभिश्चितम्
उत्पतिष्यन् विचिक्षेप पक्षिराज इवोरगम्
उत्पतिष्यन् विचिक्षेप पक्षिराज इवोरगम्.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana Romabhishchitam Bha. The second line Utpatishya Sha.
Sure. Utpatishyan. Utpatishyan. Vichikshepa. Did I pronounce it right? Anupurvyena vrittam cha langulam romabhishchitam utpatishyan vichikshepa. Did I say it right?
Yes, auntie.
Okay. It has to have that chikshepa. Vichikshepa. Pakshiraja ivoragam. So we have this out. Okay. In here you have the dvitva here. Pakshi, again iksha, pakshi raja ivoragam. Vikshepa. I'm not sure if I said it right. Next one. Tasya langulamavidham.
Tasya langulamavidham.
Atavegasya prishthatah.
Atavegasya prishthatah.
Dadrishe garudeneva.
Dadrishe garudenaiva.
Neva. Garudena iva. Garudeneva.
Dadrishe garudeneva.
Kriyamano mahoragah.
Hriyamano mahoragah.
Tasya langulamavidham. Atavegasya prishthatah.
Tasya langulamavidham. Atavegasya prishthatah.
Dadrishe garudeneva. Hriyamano mahoragah.
Dadrishe garudeneva. Hriyamano mahoragah.
Very good.
So the Mahaprana Langula Mavidham Dha and Prishthatah Sha and Tha.
Mm.
And yeah.
No, we don't have anything here. Atavegasya isya. There is a dvitva there. Bahu samstambhayamas
Bahu samstambhayamas
mahaparighasanibhau.
Mahaparighasanibhau.
Very good. Sasada cha kapih katyam.
Sasada cha kapih katyam.
One more time. Sasada cha kapih katyam.
Sasada cha kapih katyam.
Charanau sanchukocha cha.
Charanau sanchukocha cha.
Correct. Bahu samstambhayamas mahaparighasanibhau.
Bahu samstambhayamas mahaparighasanibhau.
Sasada cha kapih katyam charanau sanchukocha cha.
Sasada cha kapih katyam charanau sanchukocha cha.
Very good. Very good.
So the Mahaprana samstambhayamasa. And
Mm.
then Mahaparigha
Mm.
Sannibhau, Gha and Bha. And yeah.
How katyam sanchuko. That's it. Kapih katyam. There is a hakaraha there. Sasada cha kapih katyam. That's a visargaha. Samhritya cha bhujau shriman.
Samhritya cha bhujau shriman.
Tathaiva cha shirodharam.
Tathaiva cha shirodharam.
Tejas sattvam tatha viryam.
Tejas sattvam tatha viryam.
Avivesha saviryavan.
Avivesha saviryavan.
Very good. Samhritya cha bhujau shriman. Tathaiva cha shirodharam.
Samhritya cha bhujau shriman.
There is a
Tat
ditva there. Bhujau shriman.
bhujau shriman.
Say the full line one more time, Haritra.
Samhritya cha bhujau shriman. Tathaiva cha shirodharam.
Very good. Tejas sattvam tatha viryam. Avivesha cha avivesha saviryavan.
Tejas sattvam tatha viryam. Avivesha saviryavan.
If there is a confusion between the shakaraha and sakaraha, you can stop there. Avivesha saviryavan.
Avivesha saviryavan.
Very good. Here
So
you
Mahaprana is Samhritya cha bhujau bha and tathaiva tha shirodharam dha and tatha in the second line ha
Mm.
and the visarga tejas sattvam. So
Tejas sattvam, there is a specific dvitva here. Bhujau shriman. There is a ish that you had when you say it together. Dvitva is you say the first vyanjanam of the next sayukta aksharam. Kootelithu, right? One more time. Bhujau shriman. Together you say bhujau shriman. Margamalokayan durat.
margamalokayan durat
ऊर्ध्वं प्रणिहिते क्षणः.
ऊर्ध्वं प्रणिहिते क्षणः
रुरोध हृदये प्राणान्.
रुरोध हृदये प्राणान्.
Dvitva there. Hridaye प्राणान्. Ip.
Okay. रुरोध रुरोध हृदये प्राणान्
आकाशमवलोकयन्
आकाशमवलोकयन्
मार्गमालोकयन् दूरात् ऊर्ध्वं प्रणिहिते क्षणः
मार्गमालोकयन् दूरात् ऊर्ध्वं प्रणिहिते क्षणः
रुरोध हृदये प्राणान् आकाशमवलोकयन्
रुरोध हृदये प्राणान् आकाशमवलोकयन्.
Hmm.
And the Mahaprana in the first line urdhvam dha, and in the second line rurodha dha,
There is a dvitva.
and there's ditva in hridaye prana.
Hridaye.
Hridaye prana.
Very good. पद्भ्यां दृढमवस्थानम्
पद्भ्यां दृढमवस्थानम्.
Very good. कृत्वा स कपिकुञ्जरः
कृत्वा स कपिकुञ्जरः
निकुञ्ज्य कर्णौ हनुमान् इंच and च
निकुञ्च्य कर्णौ हनुमान्
कर्णौ
निकुञ्च्य कर्णौ हनुमान्
उत्पतिष्यन् महाबलः
उत्पतिष्यन् महाबलः.
Very good. पद्भ्यां दृढमवस्थानं कृत्वा स कपिकुञ्जरः
पद्भ्यां दृढमवस्थानं कृत्वा स कपिकुञ्जरः
निकुञ्च्य कर्णौ हनुमान् उत्पतिष्यन् महाबलः
निकुञ्च्य कर्णौ हनुमान् उत्पतिष्यन् महाबलः.
Very good.
Mahaprana, the first line padbhyam bha, and dridha avasthanam dha and tha.
So just in 2 words, you have 3 Mahapranas here. Ibh, dha, and tha. The 3 of them.
And then the second line utpatishyan sha.
Shakara. Nikunchya. Injan, ich together. We tend to say jakaraha there. We have to watch up. Nikunchya. Vanaran vanarashreshtha.
Vanaran vanarashreshtha.
Idam vachanam abravit.
Idam vachanam abravit.
Yatha raghava nirmuktaha.
Yatha raghava nirmuktaha.
Sharashvasana vikramaha. It is a shakaraha there. Sharashvasana vikramaha.
Sharashvasana vikramaha.
Very good. Vanaran vanarashreshtha idam vachanam abravit.
Vanaran vanarashreshtha idam vachanam abravit.
Yatha raghava nirmuktaha sharashvasana vikramaha.
Yatha raghava nirmuktaha sharashvasana vikramaha.
Correct.
So Mahaprana, the first word, Vanaran vanarashreshtha shantha. And in the second line, it's like Yatha Raghava Nirmuktaha, Tha and Gha.
Shvasana vikramaha. Okay. So here there is a dvitva. Vanarashreshtha. You have to say the dvitva there.
And we also have a Visarga, right? Sharashvasana.
Correct. Sharashvasana. Again here, vachana mabravit. Mabravit. So you say the bakaraha twice. Muktaha sharashvasana vikramaha. Last one. Gache tadvad gamishyami.
Gache tattva
Tadvad.
Gachetadvad tadvad
Okay, 1 second.
gamisham.
So gachet tadvad gamishyami. So gachet tadvad gamishyami.
Gachetadvad gamishyami.
Very good. One more time.
Gachetadvad gamishyami.
Very good. Lankam Ravana Palitam.
Lankam Ravana Palitam.
Nahi Drakshyami Yaditam.
Nahi Drakshyami Yaditam.
Lankayam Janakatmajam.
Lankayam Janakatmajam.
Gachet tadvat gamishyami. Lankam Ravana Palitam.
Gachetadvad gamishyami. Lankam Ravana Palitam.
Nahi Drakshyami Yaditam. Lankayam Janakatmajam.
Nahi Drakshyami Yaditam. Lankayam Janakatmajam. So in the first word gache cha and mishyami sha. And in the
You have
second
a
line
Dvitva here. Nahi Drakshyami. You have a Dvitva there. Janakatmajam. Very nice. Very nicely repeated, Haridra.
thank you.
Always count on you. Just hold on there. Any specific numbers that need repetition, I will do that, and then you can try all the 20 shlokas. Let's just take a few minutes. You can just type in the shloka number. What is Dvitva? Dvitva is where you say a particular aksharam twice. So Dvi means twice. So for example, I don't know what your mother tongue is, but in Tamil it's called Kooteluthu, right? So in Sanskritam it's called Sanyukta Aksharam, where you join one Vyanjanam with another Vyanjanam, one Meyyeluthu with another Meyyeluthu. So when you do that, and there are certain rules when a particular pada is followed by a dvitva, you say it twice. So for example, nahi, dra is id plus ra. So nahid drakshyami. So when you say together, nahid drakshyami, you don't say nahi drakshyami, you don't stop it there. You say the sort of like the id together. So there are certain dvitva rules. So wherever it is specific, we are just focusing that there. Okay. 24. We'll start with 24. Okay, many have said 40. Let me do 40 first. Gachet tad vad gamishyami. I know the first one. So if you look at English, gachet tad vad gamishyami. So gachet, it stops here. Tad vad gamishyami. Lankam Ravana Palitam. Nahi drakshyami yaditam. I think the rest is okay. Lankayam Janakatmajam. So here the first one goes gachet tad vad gamishyami. So that is the 40, shloka number 40. I have to go back. Hold on. 31. 31. Iti vidyadharashrutva. There is a ish there. Vachas tesham mahatmanam. Tamaprameyam. Again, there is a dvitva here. Tam aprameyam. Tamaprameyam. Dadrishuhu. This is dr. Dadrishuhu. Parvate vanarashabham. Iti vidyadhara shrutva vachas tesham mahatmanam tamaprameyam dadrishuhu parvate vanarashabham. Shloka 33. Anu Purvyena. Pu-ir. You say the repa first. Anu Purvyena Vrittam cha Langulam Roma Bhishchitam. Roma Bhichitam. So it becomes Roma Bhishchitam. Utpatishyan Vichikshepa. Vichi-ikshepa. Vichikshepa. Pakshiraja Ivoragam. So, Anupurvyena Vrittam cha Langulam. We are not doing Parasavarna. Ideally, we should do Parasavarna when we chant, which is Vrittanja. We should say the inj there. We have not practiced it. Practice because not many here know Sanskritam. There are Parasavarna. So, Anupurvyena Vrittam cha Langulam Roma Bhishchitam Utpatishyan Vichikshepa Pakshiraja Ivoragam. Visarga clearly, and when we should chant together. So the question is, when do we chant the Visarga when we stop? When do we chant it together, right? So it depends on the chandas. The shloka is divided into 4 padas, right? So you have the first line, second line, each is divided into 2 halves. I have to find a shloka. Let me finish the shlokas and then I'll come back to this. 33, 40 I already did. 28. Shushruvushcha. Shushruvuishcha. Shushruvushcha. I think rest are okay. Tada shabdam rishinam bhavitatmanam charananam. So there are nakaraha, then nakaraha, cha siddhanam, sthitanam vimalembare. I think the first word is a little tricky here. Shushruvushcha. Tada shabdam. 28, 24. Lehyanuchavachan bhakshyan. So lehyanuch chavachan. So if you look at English, lehyanuchavachan. Lehyanuchavachan bhakshyan mamsani vividhani cha arshabhani cha charmani. Here, kad. It is dakaraha, not ing. Kadgamscha kanakat saroon. Khadgamscha. Ga with a dirgha. So, lehya nuchavachan bhakshyan mamsani vividhani cha arsha bhani cha charmani khadgamscha kanakat saroon. 41 more time. Okay. Nahi, I'll do it one more time. Gache tadvad gamishyami lankam ravana palitam nahi drakshyami yeditam lankayam janakatmajam. So here, Madhavi Bhagini, Yatha Raghava Nirmuktaha. This pada stops here. This padam stops there. So we stop the muktaha here. The second one, the 2 words are together. Sharash Shwasana Vikramaha. So depending on the chandas that we are chanting and the split, right? We either say the visarga together or we stop there. It just comes with practice. The only exception would be that after the visarga, if it is followed by iksha, there was one shloka that we did. Krita kantha gunaha kshiba. So here gunaha kshiba. So here alone we say the gunaha and then kshiba, so that we say the iksha. Otherwise we will not say the ik correctly. We'll say gunah kshiba. We'll say the shakaraha. So only the shakaraha without the ik. So in order to stress on the ik also. Meenakshi, right? Ikshi. It is not just sh, it is iksha. So to make sure that we don't miss the ik there, we stop there. Krita kantha gunaha Kshiba. So it is not Shiba, it is Kshiba. You have to say the Iksha. Yes, I think there is a message in the chat where it says the book from Ramakrishna Mutt has different numbers. So just note down the numbering. There is no one standard book that is available for us to that we can directly follow, because we are taking the text from the internet, Valmiki Ramayanam site. The books that have been published are different. And you would see many Upanyasakas saying that some shlokas have been added, some shlokas have been removed, some shlokas use a different padas. Pathabedam in any kind of scripture is very common. So just note down the shlokas. I remember in the first 20, there were set of like 4 or 5 which were additional in the Ramakrishna Mutt book. So I have marked it down with a cross saying that these are not there. So if I'm chanting using the textbook, just note it down. Shlokam 32. Dudhuve chasa Romani Chakampe Chacha Lopamaha Nanada Sumahanadam Sumahaniva Toyataha Dudhuve Chasa Romani Chakampe Chacha Lopamaha Dudhuve. Yes, Gita Press is different, Giri Trading is different, Ramakrishna Mutt is different. So each publication, you will see the set to be very different. So I would, if we did live class, we can all purchase the same book and we can just go with the text which is available there. But the text which is available online from which we have taken, and even this is not directly available, thanks to Jyotsna, who's putting together these documents together, and a whole set of people who are verifying it. So we have to take the Sanskritam text. It is not directly it cannot be directly copied from the site. So we have to find a hack to copy it. And then check with the original text which is there in valmikiramayana.net in the internet, and then from there derive at the other 2 languages. So there is a lot of work that goes beyond these PPTs and the PDFs. Unfortunately, because we are not able to gather at one place, we are not able to follow one textbook. We are relying on the content from the internet and trying to see if we can correlate with the text that we have. So I understand the differences can be little perturbing, but I think this is the best we can do, given that we all are from different locations and we are trying to, do this online to the best effort. Can we have the number as what is displayed here? I don't understand the question. So when we chant, we will go with this number. Whatever is here, right? That will be the 32nd shloka. So you can change in your text book or the PDF or the print, right? You accordingly. Okay. I think the shloka corrections are done. Do you want to try chanting Haridra?
Okay, Auntie, I'll do.
यानि चौषधजालानि तस्मिन् जातानि पर्वते विषघ्नान्यपि नागानां न शेकुशमितुं विषम् भिद्यते यं गिरिर्भूतैः इति मत्वा तपस्विनः त्रस्ता विद्याधरास्तस्मात् उत्पेतुस्त्रीगणैः सह पानभूमिगतं हित्वा हैममासवभाजनं पात्राणि च महार्हाणि करकांश्च हिरण्मयान् लेह्यानुच्चावचान् भक्ष्यान् मांसानि विविधानि च about that आर्षभाणि च चर्माणि खड्गांश्च Kanakatsaroon.
What is the doubt, Kanna?
Nothing out.
One more time. Go ahead with 24 one more time.
लेह्यानुच्चावचान् भक्ष्यान् मांसानि विविधानि च आर्षभाणि च चर्माणि खड्गांश्च कनकत्सरून् कृतकण्ठगुणाः क्षीबा रक्तमाल्यानुलेपनाः रक्ताक्षाः पुष्कराक्षाश्च गगनं प्रतिपेदिरे हारनूपुरकेयूर पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः विस्मिताः सस्मितास्तस्थुः आकाशे रमणैः सह.
Very good.
दर्शयन्तो महाविद्यां विद्याधरमहर्षयः सहितास्तस्थुराकाशे वीक्षाञ्चक्रुश्च पर्वतम्.
Very good.
शुश्रुवुश्च तदा शब्दं ऋषीणां भावितात्मनां चारणानां च सिद्धानां स्थितानां विमलेऽम्बरे. एष पर्वतसङ्काशो हनूमान् मारुतात्मजः तितिर्षति महावेगः समुद्रं मकरालयम्. रामार्थं वानरार्थं च चिकीर्षन् कर्म दुष्करं समुद्रस्य परं पारं दुष्प्रापं प्राप्तुमिच्छति.
Very good.
इति विद्याधरा श्रुत्वा वचस्तेषां महात्मनां तमप्रमेयं ददृशुः पर्वते वानरर्षभम्. दुधुवे च सरोमाणि च कम्पे चाचलोपमः ननाद सुमहानादं सुमहानिवतो यदः. आनुपूर्व्येण वृत्तं च लाङ्गूलं रोमभिश्चितम् उत्पतिष्यन् विचिक्षेप पक्षिराज इवोरगम्. तस्य लाङ्गूलमाविद्धम् आतवेगस्य पृष्ठतः ददृशे गरुडेनैव ह्रियमाणो महोरगः.
Tadrishe?
गरुडेनैव.
Correct. Tadrishe garude neva.
ददृशे गरुडेनैव ह्रियमाणो महोरगः.
Very good.
बाहू संस्तम्भयामास महापरिघसन्निभौ ससाद च कपिः कट्यां चरणौ सञ्चुकोच च. संहृत्य च भुजौ श्रीमान् तथैव च शिरोधरां तेजःसत्त्वं तथा वीर्यम् आविवेश स वीर्यवान्.
Just little slower, Haritra.
मार्गमालोकयन् दूरात् ऊर्ध्वं प्रणिहिते क्षणः रुरोध हृदये प्राणान् आकाशमवलोकयन्. पद्भ्यां दृढमवस्थानं कृत्वा स कपिकुञ्जरः निकुञ्च्य कर्णौ हनुमान् उत्पतिष्यन्महाबलः.
Very good.
वानरान् वानरश्रेष्ठ इदं वचनमब्रवीत् यथा राघव निर्मुक्तः शरश्वसन विक्रमः.
गच्छेतद्वद्गमिष्यामि लङ्कां रावणपालितां न हि द्रक्ष्यामि यदि तां लङ्कायां जनकात्मजाम्.
Very good. Very good, Karna. Keep it up.
Thank you. Priyashini.
Okay. We'll go to the summary of what happened in the first set of shlokas. I think Sujata ji volunteered. You can just keep it high level, Bagni. Ram Ram.
Ram Ram Vaniji.
Ram Ram, namaste.
So I'll start from Dhyana Slokas, Vaniji.
No, you can start directly from here. I think Dhyana Shlokas we all know. Let's focus on the
Sarga one from Sarga one.
Yeah, we've already done those previously. Yeah.
Okay, Vaniji. Yeah, Sarga one, the first sloka. Hanuman desires to find Sita, who was abducted by Ravana by path of air, where the Charana group is present. Hanuman decided to accomplish an impossible task courageously, appearing like a bull with his head raised and neck stretched. After that, Hanuman happily and easily roams around the grassy lawns that appeared like still water from a distance and in the color of emerald.
Vaiduriyam.
The thoughtful Hanuman scared many birds, killed animals, and uprooted trees with his chest like a rampant lion.
Kesari. It was almost like a lion roaming around.
The mountain he was standing on had naturally formed mineral rocks of black, white, red, blue, yellow, and green, which made the mountain look decorative. This place was frequently visited by Yakshas, Kinnaras, and Gandharvas, who could take any form at any time in this mountain and were present in large amounts. This place also has godly serpents. Even though there are many elephants in the mountains, he looked like an elephant in the center of a lake when he stood at the foot of the mountain. Hanuman saluted sun god, wind god, Brahma, Indra, and Bhutas and set his mind to leave.
1 second. So, this is the Prarthana Shloka that Hanuman does, right?
Yes.
Did you notice anything in this shloka? Sasuryaya Mahendraya Pavanaya Swayambhuve. Anybody? Just want to dwell like
Join the hands together.
It actually talks about something from Hanuman's past. What does it talk about? It talks about the prayer to his guru, correct. But it talks about Valmiki has placed the padas in such a way that it is a specific incident from Hanuman's life in that order. I'm just waiting to see if anybody would message in. Surya Guru, okay. Correct. Hanuman thinking sun as mango, Surya. And then what happens? It's not Panchabhutha. Haridra, I think Haridra message. I think she got it. Where are you, Kana? Are you with Amma?
Yes, yes, one.
Chollu, Kana.
You tell this the story.
Okay. So when Hanuman eats like food, so he wanted to actually eat something with it. So he thought that the sun looked like the mango. So he wanted the mango. So he flew towards the sun, but Lord Indra thought that something might happen to him. So, but then he hit his job with the Vajrayudha.
Correct. So
So
he,
that became
he
a-
flew towards sun god and he got hit by Indra. And then what happens?
Yeah, and then so Hanuman's jaw is broken and he's like unconscious, and then later on the other gods and even the wind god also, like, they all bless him, and later on they revive
No,
him.
no. Before that, what happens? So before that, the wind god stops the movement of air, right? The Vayu Bhagavan stopped it. It's only when they stopped, headed by Swayambhuhu, who is Brahma, all the other gods joined and they blessed Hanuman. So this particular line talks about that incident. Look at the order. It is the incident that happens in Hanuman's life. So he went to Surya, got hit by Indra. His father came to kind of his rescue, and then Brahma and other gods gave all the blessings. So that it signifies that. Found it very interesting that Valmiki has used the four padas in that order, relating to an incident or anecdote from Hanuman's life. Mahendraha, Maha Indraha, Mahendraha. Correct, Indra. Good job, Haridra. Keep it up, Karna. Continue, Sujata ji.
I'll start from 9th.
Mm.
Hanuman turns towards east, salutes his father, the wind god, and increases his size to travel in the southern direction.
Mm.
Hanuman stands amongst the Vanaras who are watching him, deciding to fly like the tidal waves on a full moon day, and grew in size for Sri Rama's victory.
Rama Vridhyartam. Everything is for the sake of Rama.
With a desire to jump across the ocean with an immeasurable body, Hanuman pressed the mountain with his hands and feet. Due to the pressing of the mountain by Hanuman, the trees shake for a moment, and the flowers from the trees fall down. Since those flowers fell down, the mountain appeared to be like a mountain made out of flowers. Due to the pressure given to the mountain, the water oozes out from the mountain as if an elephant emits water of intoxication when it is in rut. Since Hanuman pressed the mountain Mahendragiri looked as if it had streaks of gold and silver. As the rocks crush, the mountain seems as though the mountain is on fire, emitting smoke. The creatures living inside the caves also get pressed, and they scream horribly. These shrill noises were so loud that they could be heard by the whole earth and all over the four directions, as well as the surrounding vegetation.
It filled Prithvi. Prithvi Purayamasa. It filled the entire earth.
The godly serpents with wide hoods and a swastika sign on its head spit out their poison from the fangs as if fire came out. They had also bit the rocks. As the snakes bit the rocks, oozing their poison out in pain and anger, it seemed that the whole mountain had split into 1,000 pieces.
It's very good, very nicely summarized. So that is what has happened. He's ready to take off, and just by him pressing against the mountain with his two arms and feet, what is the situation that happened in the mountain? Thank you, Ji.
Thank you, Maniji. Periva Sharanam.
So what happens next? So he's ready to take off, and it looks as though the mountain is about to split into 1,000 sahasradha, split into 1,000 pieces. Now, when you have a mountain, the mountain has rocks. The mountain has a lot of beings inside us. The beauty of mountains is that the mountain also has things that are countering other lives, right? Like, for example, the snakes emit poison. The mountain also is a place full of medicinal herbs. So if there is poison, if you get bit by snake in a mountain, very high chance that you will find a aushadham, right, which can counteract that poison and can save you. But however, in this case, Valmiki says, Yani cha aushadha jalani tasmin jatani parvate. So there are lots of aushadha jalani. There are lots of medicinal herbs, jatani, which are which are being grown in that mountain, which grow in that Parvatam mountain. Vishagnani api naganam. So the naganam, the snakes, the poisonous snakes that emit the visham, the poison. However, na shekuhu, it was not possible, shamitum visham, in order to neutralize the effect of Hanuman pressing down and taking off. Ready, he's not even taken off, he's just ready to take off. It is so huge and so deep, terrible and vigorous that even after the snakes have emitted the poison, the neutralizing herbs which are there, the medicinal plants which are there in the mountain, they are not able to neutralize or counteract the poison that was emitted by the snakes. Shamitum visham, naganam vishagnani api na shekuhu shamitum visham. It was not possible to neutralize. Which were not possible to neutralize? The aushadani, the medicinal herbs or the plants were not able to neutralize. Now, the next three shlokas, 22, 23, 24, are kind of together. We will see the individual high-level meaning and then I will narrate the three together. Vidyate ayam girihi bhutaihi iti matva tapasvinaha trastaha vidyadharaha tasmat utpetuhu stri ganaihi saha. So then what happens? The mountain also has, we saw earlier, they were visited by Gandharvas and Yakshas and Kinnaras. There were also another class of people called Vidyadharas. They possess like, they are also celestial beings that possess like magical powers. And they usually like to live in mountains. So what happens? These Vidyadharas, who are nothing but a group of supernatural beings, they have this power where they can live in mountains and they actually enjoy the beauty of the mountains. These Vidyadharas are kind of considered to be the Upadevatas or demigods. So what happens? These Vidyadharas, they are in that state where they are enjoying the mountain, but they are disturbed too. So what do? They understand, they are able to sense that the whole mountain and Giri Bhutaihi, all the beings in the mountain as well, every creature is going to be shattered because of Hanuman's takeoff. So they flee from that place, and when they do, Stri Ganaihi Saha, with their respective family, they don't leave the women behind. They also take the Stri behind. So Vidyate, which is going to be broken, Giri Bhutaihi. Giri is mountain, Bhutaihi is creatures. Tapasvinaha, the sages are also there. Trasta, Trayate means you get terrified, you're very afraid. Vidyadharas, the group of celestial beings, the demigods, Utpetuhu, they fly away. When they fly away, they also take along the women folk together. The Tapasvinaha actually goes with the next verse. We will see that. So the three verses kind of go together. Pana bhumigatam hitva haimam asava bhajanam patrani cha maharhani karakamscha hiranmayan. So these Vidyadharas possess really expensive patrani vessels. They have valuable cups. They have valuable items along with them. But so when they are scared, afraid, they are not worried about the golden goblets or golden cups or vessels that are there that belong to them. They flee, leaving everything behind. Pana bhumi gatam. These are the drinking places, the place where they drink. Haimam is golden. Asava bhajanam. These are the drinking cups. Patrani, we all know. In Tamil also, we call it patram, which is vessel. Maharhani, these are not cheap ones. These are the valuable ones. Karakamscha hiranmayan. All the other golden utensils and golden items that they had also. What did they do? It goes with the next shloka. Lehyan Uchchavachan bhakshyan mamsani vividhani. Arsha vividhani cha. That together. Arsha bhani cha charmani kadghamscha kanakat sarun. So they also had bunch of food which was there. So they were in the state of bhokta. They were enjoying everything. They were enjoying food, drink, meat, lots of eatables, bhakshyan, variety of food. Lehyan, Uchchavachan, variety of food. There are different kinds of foods, right? We have seen it in Bhagavad Gita also. One that can be eaten, one that can be licked, one that has to be bit, one that has to be chewed. So different kinds of foods that they had. Bhakshyan, Mamsani, the meat that they had. Vividhani, variety. Arshabhani, they also had different astras, different weapons that they had, kadgams, the swords that they had, and different items which were covered with animal hides, particularly bull, oxen. Arshabhani. Charmam is skin. So they had different kinds of weapons and sheaths that they had. They left that as well. Kanakat Sarun. These were all covered with golden sheaths. So when Hanuman was ready to take off, the ascetics, the sages left the place, and at the same time, fearing that the mountain would be broken into multiple pieces, Sahasradha, and all the creatures would have to bear the brunt. They were kind of foreseeing that. So what happened? The Vidyadharas were alarmed. So because they were alarmed, they feared and they jumped into the sky, and when they did so, they did along with the women folk, the women that of their family. However, they left behind everything else which was precious, like for example, jugs, utensils, golden items, different cups, eatables, different kinds of food, meat, bull hide, kadgam, which is sword, and other weapons that were there, which were covered with golden sheath. So it just talks about the beauty of that mountain and what happened. I think Valmiki has just kind of explained. Hanuman is just ready to take off. Look at the situation of people around, right? And that is the kind of power, vigor, the vairagya, and the bhakti Hanuman had, that he was ready to take off Dushkaram. In the second shloka, he talks about Dushkaram, something which is impossible to do. Can we think of anybody who could have crossed the mountain and come back to convey the news to Rama? Not at all. So some task which was impossible to do, he was ready to do. And while he was ready to do, there were bunch of things happened to the mountain. It is not possible, like even when rockets take off, right? Like Hanuman basically took off like a rocket. So when rockets take off, we know that the rocket launch happens outside the city, right? It doesn't happen inside the city. There is a vast field which is available. The smoke that is there, the heat, the flames, the vigor and the power that is there. So typically, you will not see a lot of houses, people living, or even, plants around, because everything will be affected because of a rocket launch. So given that the Mahendragiri mountain was not aware, right? And Hanuman being at the tip of Bharata Desham and is ready to take off, the effect that it had on the mountain is described in these shlokas. So the Vidyadharas left, and when they left, what happened was they took along with them the family, primarily the women folk, and they being bhoktas, right? They actually enjoy. That is what is kind of explained here, the kind of meat that they had, the vessels that they had, and even the weapons that they had golden sheets. So, these really, I should say, stinking rich, right? Vidyadharas. They left everything and they literally ran for their life. So that is what happened. Now, then what happens? There is further explanation of them. krita kantha gunaha kshibaha raktamalyanu lepanaha raktakshaha pushkarakshaha cha gaganam pratipedire. These Vidyadharas, from the way they have been, right? We have seen that they were enjoying bhokta. So they were kind of in an intoxicated state. They were not themselves, but I think because of the intoxication, Raktamalyanu Lepana. So their eyes looked like red colored lotuses. And Kritakantha Gunaha. They had very expensive chains. Here Gunaha means chains around their kantam. Kantam is neck. Now they had haram on their neck as well, and they left. When they left, they were looking red-eyed. It could also mean that they were kind of angry. If we are all enjoying a movie and the calling bell rings, right? Or even when we are doing puja, we just sit to start a shlokam and there will be a ting-tong bell that that comes at the door, and we will be like so annoyed. I just sat down to do this work, chanting shloka, or watching a movie or listening to music, or when I like to write Mahapariva Sharanam or Ramanama, I don't like to be disturbed. And that moment, a children or somebody would want to come and ask us something, or share something or say something, I'm like, I have to hold myself from not raising my voice. So it could be that Raktakshaha, Akshi means eyes. They were fuming in anger, and it looked like red colored lotuses. Gaganam means sky. And they flew into the sky. They were celestial beings who flew into the sky. So Raktamalyanu Lepana. Lepanam means applied. Here they had garlands, malya. Anulepana, they were wearing, I think here it means sandal paste. They were wearing chandanam. So they had garlands, they had, expensive chains, and their eyes looked like red lotuses. And it could be because of the intoxication, when somebody is intoxicated, when they have alcohol, you'll see that their eyes are red in color. So in general, that indicates bhoktam, right? It could be that, or because they were disturbed, they became angry and they went into the sky. Pratipedire, they flew into the sky. So the intoxicated Vidyadharas, it still talks about them. Their eyes were red in color, so it looked like red color lotuses. They were wearing garlands around the kantham, which is neck. They had sandal paste applied on them, and they were wearing garlands, and they went into the sky. They leaped or flew into the sky. It further describes how they were decked up. Hara, Nupura, Keyura, Pariharya Dharaha, Striyaha, Vismitaha, Sasmitaha, Akashe, Ramanai Saha. So there, Tastuhu, they stayed. They didn't want to come back. They stayed in the Akasham. Now it talks about Vidyadharas and their women. So they had necklaces, Hara, Nupura, Keyura, Pariharyam. So they had necklaces, anklets, Keyuram, Nupuram, so armlets, the Striyaha, the Vidyadharis, right? The Vidyadharas and Vidyadharis, the women folk, Vismitaha, they were wonderstruck at what was happening there. Sasmitaha, they had a light smile looking at it. Tastuhu, they stayed there in the Akasham, Akashe. Ramanaihi Saha, Ramanaihi here means along with their companions. Here, the male counterpart. So this 26th shloka talks about the Vidyadharis. They were adorned, or they were wearing necklaces, anklets, Nupura, Keyura, armlets. They were wearing Pariharyam, they were wearing bangles, so very richly decked up. Striyaha, the Vidyadharis. Vismitaha, they were surprised, and they had this, along with the surprise, they had a mandahasam, slight smile. I think they were just happy that they left all the expensive stuff, but the Vidyadharas decided to take them along, right? They didn't leave them behind, and they were waiting to look at what was going to happen. Sasmitaha. Smitam means smile. Tastuhu. They decided to stay there in the Akasham, waiting to look at what was going to happen next. Darshayantaha Mahavidyam Vidyadhara Maharshayah Sahitaha Tastuhu Akashe Vikshaha Chakruhu Cha Parvatam. So the greatest or the most knowledgeable among the Vidyadharas, who were very wise, they were also watching. It is not like I am a very wise person, so you know what, I can bear whatever is going to happen to the mountain. I am a wise person. They didn't stay back. Every single Vidyadhara flew from the mountain, and they were all waiting to watch. Darshayantaha, waiting to watch. Darshanam means seeing Mahavidyam, even the greatest or the most knowledgeable among the Vidyadhara Maharshayah, the seers among the Vidyadharas. Sahita means they all collectively stayed together. They stayed together as a group or a gana. Tastuhu, they waited there. Where did they wait? They waited in the Akasham. Vikshaha, Viksham, waiting to see. Parvatam, they were looking at the Parvatam. Chakrushcha, they were also watching. So here, the Vidyadharas and the female counterparts stood in the sky as a group. And even the wisest of them, who had great talent, great knowledge, skill in variety of fields, was there along with them. And Darshayantaha, they were all waiting. Viksham. Viksham is also to see. Waiting to see what was happening, and they were looking down at the mountain. Shushruvuhu tada shabdam rishinam bhavitatmanam charananam cha siddhanam stitanam vimalembare. Again, the Vidyadharas at that moment, while they were waiting, they heard some shabdam, they heard some word or noise or words. By whom? By rishis. At that point, the rishis were doing their part for the Ramakaryam. Hanuman was going in search of Sita, and his purpose was Ramakaryam. And in the previous Kandam, we know that Rama did a lot of good. He met lot of rishis, right? Sharabhanga, Sutikshna, Agastya Bhratuhu, so Bratha. So he met lot of rishis. So Rama in general has a very nice relationship with rishis. So rishis were also indebted to Rama, and they wanted to do their part. So they gave their blessing, Rishi Vak, right? When they bless, the search will definitely be successful. And even if there are hindrances, which we will see later, he will be able to tackle them right. So at that point, the entire Akasham was filled with, earlier we have seen the yakshas, kinnaras, gandharvas, charanas. Now you have rishis and siddhas along with the Vidyadhara. So there was a whole crew there kind of cheering, right? When there is a launch, you can see so many people cheering there and wanting the launch to be right. If that is the case for just a normal rocket launch, I don't mean to devalue it. Imagine if one is given the bhagyam of going and doing something for Rama Karyam, right? For the sake of Rama. When one is given the kind of support and the love that would be showered on one such person. That is what Valmiki is trying to explain here. You know, Hanuman was not alone. He had the whole crew of Vanara army, but Vanara army is his being, right? His blood, his bandhu, the group of Vanaras that he has known for a very long time. So if our family cheers, our friends cheer for us, what is the big deal? It is bound to happen. But not just them. The whole crew was there trying to cheer and bless Hanuman for the karyam that he was just ready to go for. I think Valmiki has paid such attention to how important that, the encouragement one gets while we undertake an action and undertake a task is so important. And Hanuman, I'm sure he got that udvegam, right? Even if he had slightest doubt within him, looking at so many people trying to cheer, clap, and encourage, and then the sages, giving the Ashirvada Vachanam. I'm sure Hanuman experienced that utsaham and udvegam to continue with the journey. So here the Vidyadharas at that point, they don't have the capability to bless or give the Ashirvada Vachanam, but then they were happy hearing from the words of sages and Siddha Purushas there. And the Charanas were also, we already saw, Charanas are the celestial beings who have the Akasha Margam as their path. So Charanas were also there. Sthitanam, all these people stood there. Vimala Ambare, so the clear sky. So there was no hindrance for Hanuman. A lot of times when the flight is ready to take off and there is no visibility, we know that the flight gets delayed, right? The Vimala Ambare, look at the Prayoga here. Vimalam means there is nothing which is covered, nothing which is covering the sky. It is pure white sky, in the sense that the clouds are so clear sky that Hanuman has good visibility for his takeoff. So Vimala Ambare, pure sky, like clear sky, so that the takeoff can happen at the moment it is scheduled without any further delay. So though these group of people are there, some forced to be there in Akasham, some because Akasham is the place that they be in, they are all ready and they are encouraging Hanuman to go further. Now continues how Hanuman was looking like. We all saw Vavridhe, he had grown up in his size, and when he was pushing with his two hands and feet, how there was a jolt that happened in the mountain. Now, looking from Akasham, looking from far off, right? When we are close to so imagine a rocket taking off. When we are close to the rocket, we all know how huge the rocket is. When we see from down and it is flying up, it becomes so small, right? But when we are near that and waiting for it to launch, the rocket is huge in structure. So Yesha Parvata Shankashaha Hanuman Marutatmajah Titirshati Mahavegah Samudram Makaralayam. So here Valmiki has used the pada called Makaralayam. Here Makaralayam means, Makaram is crocodile. Now there is another version. I don't know if any of the books that anybody is following has this Varunalayam. Varunalayam, Varunam means, Varuna is water. So he's crossing the Samudra. Samudram, which is filled with water, is what it means as Varunalayam. But here Valmiki uses Makaralayam, and scientifically it has been proved, right? It has been proved that this particular area between Bharatadesham and Lanka is actually inhabited by saltwater crocodiles. So Valmiki knew that he will be crossing Makaralayam, and we all know crocodiles are fond of monkey meat, right? So that by itself is an hindrance, but Hanuman wasn't deterred by that at all. So Parvata Sankasham, Hanuman looked like a huge mountain. Marutatmajah, Marutam is wind. He was the son of the Vayu Bhagavan. Titirshati, what was his desire? He had the desire to cross and look for Sita. And while he took off, Mahavegah, he did it with so much of speed and power, and he was ready to cross the Samudram, which was Makara Alayam. It is inhabited by the deadliest saltwater crocodiles. So I think Valmiki Maharishi knew that, and which is why he used Makaralayam. But I think over a period of time, maybe the crocodiles are there, not there anymore, and people have changed it to Varunalayam. So I don't know if any of your books have that, but I think the original text has Makaralayam. And again, Valmiki is insisting that the primary goal, his vision, is to find Sita. And why does he want to do that? For Ramartham, Vanarartham cha, Chikirshan, Karma, Dushkaram. Again, he is using the Pada Dushkaram here, which is impossible. I want to reiterate that this task is not an easy task at all. It is something which is impossible. Samudrasya param. He wants to go to the other param, or the other side of the samudram. Dushprapam. Prapanam means reaching. Dushprapam means something which cannot be easily reached. Praptum ichchati. He wants to reach that point, crossing the samudram, and reach a place which is not easy to reach. Why? Ramartham, for the sake of Rama, or purpose of Rama. Vanarartham, the Vanaras also, because Vanara, when we say Vanara here, primarily refers to Sugriva, who had promised Rama that he will help him in return of the favor that Rama had done. So Vanarartham, only if Sugriva keeps up his promise, the Vanara army will be good. So here Vanarartham is not just one Vanaram, not Sugriva, the entire army. Chikirshan, he wanted to achieve, he wanted to look for, and he wanted to do a task which is Dushkaram, which is not easy to achieve. It's a task which is impossible. He wanted to cross the param of samudram. He wanted to go to the other side of the shore. And dushprapam, a shore which is not easy to reach, but Hanuman praptum ichchati. He wanted to reach there. So Hanuman had decided that he will perform this task, a task which is impossible, for the sake of Rama and the Vanaras. Iti vidyadharaha shrutva vachaha tesham mahatmanam tam aprameyam dadrishuhu parvate Vanarashabham. So here Vanarashabham means he is like the bull among the Vanaras, the greatest among the Vanaras. Iti vidyadharaha shrutva. The Vidyadharas heard the sages speaking, and while that was happening, Hanuman was ready. And that Hanuman, Mahatmanam, he had the strength which is not comparable at all. And aprameyam, this is a very beautiful word, which means that which cannot be measured. In general, anything that we take in this earth, right, on this earth, in this bhumi, we can compare. I have rice, this is like 5 kilos. I have my weight, this is kind of, I'm X number of kilos, right? I have wealth, it equates to these many number of rupees. So anything we can equate and give a definitive measure. Even balam, right? We can say, okay, with that balam, he can move, he can break a wood which is 100 kilos. He can break 100 bricks at the same time. You have these Bailwans that do that. Or when we talk about wrestlers, or we can talk about weightlifters, with that balam, they can weight 100 kilos and they can do like these many push-ups. Everything is measurable. But Valmiki here says that Hanuman, who had grown in size, and that Hanuman, whom the rishis and the sages were blessing using their vachanam, he has that kind of balam. He has that kind of power, and he looked like Vanarashabham, which is the bull among the Vanaras, while he stood on that Parvate. When we saw him, it was very clear that his power is aprameyam. It is beyond measure. So that is the I would say that it is a direct message that it is what Hanuman possessed is something which is incomparable. We cannot say Hanuman had this power which is comparable to something else. There is no upama or example or a measure that can be given to that. Now he's continuing to describe Hanuman. Now he has said that Hanuman has the size of a mountain. He looked like the bull or the greatest among the Vanaras. Now he says, when Hanuman is ready to take off, right? How does one take off? Unlike an aeroplane or unlike a rocket where, there is a silent takeoff without any movement. When a human jumps, we kind of like shake our body, we do that humkaram, and then, you take off. So, dudhuve saha romani chakampe achalopamaha nanadha nanada sumahanadam sumahan toyadaha iva. So he was achalaha, means mountain. He was as huge as a mountain. And his romani, his hair, kind of shook as he was moving. Kampanam means moving. Chakampe, as he moved. Sumahan, it was so huge and big. Toyadaha, toyam means water. Toyadaha means that which gives water. Here it refers to cloud. So Hanuman, as huge as a mountain, moved his body. And as he moved, the hair on the body moved as well. And there was sound that was produced. Nanada, so Mahanadam. It was like a thunder which is produced by Toyadaha, like a cloud. So the kind of effect that it had. Earlier also we have seen, like a lightning, he was there. So here he says Hanuman, who is like a mountain, he was ready to take off, and Chakampe, he moved his body, and as he moved, the hair on his body also, was kind of shaken. And when he moved the body, he let out a great roar, the humkaram. Even when in Malyuddham, right, when these wrestlers go, they kind of self-motivate themselves, and they will be like, ha, who, before they actually start the Malyuddham. So he was self-motivating himself. It is a kind of reiteration that they have the power to do it. So Mahanadam. And how did that roar sound? It sounded like that of the thunder from Toyadaha, from a cloud, which is about to rain. Okay, I'm going to stop and reshare. Okay. Anupurvyena vrittam cha langulam romabhihi chitam utpatishyan vichikshepa pakshirajaha uragam iva. So here comes the speed with which he was going to take off. The fastest bird, which is Garuda. So that Pakshiraja is Garuda. Like the king bird, Garuda, who would shake very easily a serpent, right? Uragaha means serpent. He shook his tail. So here, Hanuman is like Garuda himself, but flipped on the other side. But Garuda doesn't have a tail. Hanuman has a tail. So it looked as though Garuda holding the tail in the opposite direction, right? Instead of Garuda holding the serpent in its mouth, Hanuman's tail looked like the serpent, and he was ready to take off. Anupurvena, in order to vrittam, it was covered. Langulam refers to tail. You can note it down. Langulam, Roma bihi, with the hair. Chitam, which was completely filled with. Utpatishyan, he was ready to take off. Vichikshepa, which is shaken. Pakshiraja iva uragam. Uragam means serpent. So Hanuman, who was just about to fly, he jolted his tail, langulam, which was rolled into a circle. And when we looked at it, it looked as though Garuda, the king of birds, would just jolt a snake before capturing it or after capturing it. So the king of birds, Garuda, is given here. In fact, Hanuman takes inspiration from Garuda when he is flying, because Garuda is the fastest bird. So the kind of speed that Garuda would fly, it is the same speed that Hanuman would have to fly if he had to reach Lanka, look for Sita, and then come back. So about to fly, ready to take off, Hanuman moved his tail, which was rolled and curled. And when we looked at it, it looked as though Garuda, the king of birds, would hold a snake or jolt a snake. Serpent, Uragaha. Tasya langulam avidham Vegasya prishtataha dadrishe garudena iva hriyamanaha mahoragaha iva. So here again Garuda comes into picture. Hanuman had the tail curled. So after the tail was curled, without looking at the tail, it looked as though a big serpent was being carried off by Garuda. So you can imagine Garuda flying in the sky, catching a serpent, jolting it, and it is about to have a feast. Hanuman, pretty much in terms of vigor and speed and the power with which he was ready to take off, with his tail curled. So we can't see the tail. So he looked as though it was like Garuda himself who had jolted the snake and serpent and was holding it. Tasya langulam avidham. So langulam again is tail. Avidham means that which is curled. Vegasya. Extreme speed. Prishtataha. Prishtataha means back, at the back. The tail is at the back. Dadrishe. When we look at it, it appeared Garudena iva. It looked as though like Garuda. Hriyamanaha had carried off Maha Uragaha, Mahoragaha. So Garuda carrying the serpent. So Hanuman had the tail which was curled at the back. It appeared as though Garuda was carrying a serpent. That is the kind of comparison that Valmiki is giving here. Bahu samstambhayamasa mahaparigha sannibhau sasada cha kapihi charanau katyam sanchu kocha cha. So here Hanuman has the arms which are firmly supported, and those arms, how did it look? It looked like huge iron clubs, right? That is the kind of power that he had. Bahu. So for takeoff, you need both power in your feet and power in your arms. So Bahu samstambayamasa. Bahu is arms. Samstambayamasa, like a stambam, pressing it down. Mahaparigha sannibhau, like huge iron poles, like iron poles or iron clubs. Sasada, which was kind of present there, crouched in. Kapihi here refers to Hanuman. Katyam. Kati means waist. Charanau sanchu kochacha. He contracted. So before taking off, Hanuman fixed his arms, the arms that looked like, huge iron poles, and he firmly placed that on the mountain. Your core has to be like really strong, right? So before you take off, you have to crouch your waist. He contracted his feet, and he was ready to take off. So he talks about the speed, he talks about the appearance, he talks about overall how Hanuman looked, he talks about the power of his hands as well as his feet, and how the structure of his body looked while he was ready to take off. Samhritya cha bhujau shriman tathaiva cha shirodharam Tejaha Sattvam Tatha Viryam Avivesha Sa Viryavan. So here, Hanuman is somebody who is so courageous. Viryavan, that Hanuman who was the Viryavan, what did he do? With his head, shoulders, body, feet, he had summoned all the energy, Tejaha Sattvam, all the energy and vigor, Viryam, his power and his courage, Avivesha, everything in Tamil we call it Avesham, right? Like when somebody talks with a lot of vigor, we say Aveshama Pesardu. So here you take all the energy together and you are ready to perform that task. Bhujau, we know hands. Shirodharam, his head, which is held up straight. And in the same way, the shoulders, the rest of the body, the viryam with which he actually summoned or collected his energy together, he was ready to take off. So that Shriman, everybody knew about the fame of Hanuman, the glorious, the famous Hanuman, Viryavan, the courageous Hanuman, Bhujau, which is the shoulders and his hand, Shiraha, which is head, contracted, they having the power together. He summoned up all the energy and vigor. Tejaha, Sattvam, Tatha, Viryam. All the positivities together. You need the power, you need the strength, you need the internal and external strength. Avivesha, he summoned everything together. Now, what does Hanuman do? Margam alokayan urdhvam durat pranihi tekshanaha rurodha hridaye pranan akasham avalokayan. So what did he do? He was before we do a task, right? We kind of internalize what is ahead of us. They always say, whenever you enter a competition, whenever even before a speech, you give a speech, you kind of take the time to visualize what you are headed up against. You give the 10-second, 20 seconds to yourself to visualize what you are headed towards. So Hanuman, that is what he is doing. Now he is ready to take off. Margam alokayan. He is actually looking at the path. And the path here is Akasham. Durat, he knows he has to travel far away from where he is standing right now. Urdhvam means upwards. So Hanuman is going to take off. His head is kind of lifted up and he is looking at the Akasha Margam. And Pranihi Tekshanaha, again, his eyes are focused there. Rurodha, he restrained himself. He kind of, held himself together. Hridaye, in his heart, mind, chest, pranan, he held his breath. Akasham avalokayan, he looked at the sky. So with his eyes which were raised up, he was looking at the distance, the margam that he has to travel. He was looking at the sky. And while he did that, he held up his breath, kind of doing like a pranayamam, right? You breathe in and breathe out. We all have these tactics that we follow these days. Take a deep breath, lift your hand up and have your hands up and hand down as you breathe in and breathe out. So Hanuman kind of was doing that. He held his breath, hridaye, in his heart, and he knew he had to get all the power and energy together to fly further, to cross the ocean, to cross the samudram. And here, the various, the sthanam that he had is described here. So, padbhyam dridham means firm. Avasthanam, standing in that position. Kapi kunjaraha. So kunjara is elephant. Kapi is vanara, monkey. Kapi kunjaraha means the elephant among the monkeys. So he is the greatest. Like in the earlier verse, Valmiki has said the bull among the monkeys, right? Now Kapi kunjaraha, he's like a huge elephant among these tiny vanaras. Nikunchya, he contracted. Karnau, So he's getting his all the energy inside for the takeoff outside. Hanuman Utpatishyan, ready to leap. Mahabalaha, the very strong Hanuman. So Hanuman Kapikunjaraha, a mighty elephant among the Vanaras, Padbhyam Dridham Avasthanam, having held his feet firmly and standing in position. Avasthanam means the position ready to take off. Even just for a rocket takeoff, millimeter this side and that side, you have a projectile that is given. So they have to position it in the correct way, and it has to take off with the right power at the right angle for it to leave the earth and to enter into space. So here Hanuman had to focus, and he need to get all the energy together from the upper to the lower portion of the body, and his eyes, his head held upwards looking at the margam. So he contracted everything together just to release for the takeoff, and that Mahabalaha, that strong Hanuman. Vanaran Vanarashreshtaha idam vachanam abravit. Yatha Raghava nirmuktaha sharaha. Okay, I need to find out a way for people to not annotate. I'll hopefully do this before the next class. I think when people are scrolling over, it is scribbling on the PPT. Yatha Raghava nirmuktaha sharaha shwasana vikramaha. So before taking off, right, he gave kind of a promise to himself and the people around. Vanaran Vanarashrestha. Vanarashrestha, that greatest Vanara, idam vachanam abravit. He told these words to whom? To the Vanaras there. So he said, Yatha Raghava nirmuktaha. Raghava is Rama. Left out or released by Rama, Raghava. What does Rama release? Raghava release? He releases Sharaha, arrow from the Bana. Shwasana Vikramaha, as though it is like the speed of the wind. So this one and the next one kind of go together. We will do 39 and 40 today, and it concludes in the 41st shloka. So just like an arrow which is released from Rama's bow would fly in the speed of a wind, I too will proceed with that speed, is what Hanuman told the Vanaras, which were waiting there to eagerly looking for Hanuman's takeoff. He says, Gachet Tadvat Gamishyami. I will go this way in that speed of wind. Lankam. I will go to Lanka. Which Lanka? Ravana Palitam. That Lanka which is protected, taken care by Ravana. Now, Ravana, just on an ordinary day, it was a highly protected country. Now, imagine holding Sita captive, and Ravana would have this fear that Rama would come anytime and wage a war. So he had double, tripled the security, right? Every time there is an attack, the country goes into the safety mode, right? Where we are very cautious in the borders, trying not to let the enemies infiltrate into the country. So Ravana Palitam Lanka. Now Ravana has doubled or gotten his security like 100 times. Nahi drakshyami yadi tam Janakatmajam. If I don't see Sita, where Lankayam, in Lanka, what is he going to do? That is there in the 41st shloka. So from the 30, no, today we did 21 to 40, it describes how Hanuman pressed against the mountain, and when that happened, how the rocks, what happened to the rocks, what happened to the snakes, how the mountain looked, how the Vidyadharas fled. When they fled, they took the women together. They left all the precious stuff. The Vidyadharas and the Vidyadharis were in the Akasham, along with the sages and the rishis and the charanas. They were all cheering for Hanuman, and the sages giving the Ashirvada Vachanam. And then followed by the description of Hanuman himself, how he got together, summoned all the energy together, held his head high, looked at the Margam with his eyes looking up. It also shows that Hanuman was not deterred by anything. There is a huge samudram to cross, and Hanuman was not deterred by that at all. And the kind of strength that he had, he looked like a mountain, he looked like a Kapi Kunjaraha, he looked like he is the Vanara Shreshtaha. And Hanuman, before taking off, he says that I am going to go through this path. I'm going to Lanka, that Lanka which is taken care and protected by Ravana. But if I don't see Janakatmaja, Janakatmaja is Sita, Janakasya Atmaja. Atmaja is daughter. So if I don't see Janakatmaja there, what am I going to do? He continues the statement in the 41st and 42nd, which we will see in next class. The hope today's session was enjoyable. As and when we read, I think the picturization comes in with a lot of blessing for all of us trying to understand. And as we visualize, I think we will enjoy this masterpiece more. And when we chant, we will be able to do justice to Valmiki's work and composition. I will end the class, and I will post the individual shlokas as well as the sets of 10 for you to practice. Please do practice. Next class, we will do revision of 21 to 40, and we will do the next set of 20. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Harihi Om Tatsat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara Hara Hara Shankara. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Anjaneya Swami ki Jai.